a bizarre new trend. People are eating raw, rotten meat to get high. And the police are asking students to please stop playing Nerf Wars in the nude in the streets. And a man was wielding a colostomy bag at a Kid Rock bar. These are the weird stories for Tuesday on, no, what day is it? Thursday on Weird AF News, guys. Nobody's perfect, babe. Nobody's perfect, babe. In a bizarre new trend, people are eating raw, rotten meat in order to get high. It sounds like a strange way to get high. I want to get high, so high. You guys know that song? Throwback. In this week's edition of Just Because Something is Legal, everyone, that doesn't mean it's a good idea. People on the internet are apparently forcing down chunks of rancid, uncooked meat to get a euphoric high. I didn't know that uncooked, rotten meat would get you high. This is all news to me. Have you guys heard about this? They're calling it high meat and steak tartare. It is not. We're talking about flesh meat that has been left to decompose for months or even years. Patchy, yellowish meat that is putrid, riddled with visible bacteria colonies, sometimes coated in a layer of slime. Who would eat this? Who? People that are desperate to get high, obviously. But guys, there's way easier ways to get high than this. And I would even say maybe even cheaper ways to get high. I mean, have you heard of airplane glue, guys? Get yourself over to Toys R Us. You'll be high all weekend for $2. Okay, it says here, after eating the rotten flesh, the people that are into the high meat report an intense feeling of euphoria. I don't know how that happens. You mean nausea, right? Not euphoria. I think you're confusing your difficult words. It says here, whether it's caused by a reaction to the bacteria as it hits your stomach, the result of dehydration and delirium caused by severe food poisoning, or is nothing more than a self-fulfilling prophecy, you believe it'll get you high, and then it does. No one is really sure what is going on here. I guess, yeah, if you experience delirium caused by food poisoning, I mean, that'll seem like a high, I'd imagine. Just like if you get, if you get bit by a rattlesnake for the first 10 minutes, that's probably going to feel like a high as well. We're not running around getting bit by rattlesnakes now, are we? This article says, whatever the hell is going on, there's a reason the human race has been cooking with heat for more than 400,000 years. Not only does the process eliminate deadly bacteria found in meat, but it makes the meat easier to digest. And for many people, it makes the meat taste better. Bizarrely, however, these high meat people claim to prefer the flavor. Apparently it tastes cheesy. In quotes, cheesy, like cheese. And it tastes more acidic. Yeah. And what about the maggots on it? Do those taste good? They give you a nice extra crunch, right? Those maggots that are crawling all over it. This is ridiculous. Now, it's important to make clear that not all raw meat is necessarily harmful. Just the kind that you leave in a cabinet for 2 years. It says steak tartare. I don't know if you know about this, but this is a prime example of raw meat that is okay in most instances. That's not something we really eat here in the U.S., but in Europe, you'll find it. It also says in the article that not all aged meat is bad either. You should know pepperoni, salami, and chorizo are technically fermented meats. And in Iceland, fermented shark meat is actually a delicacy. I like all of that stuff. I've never tried shark meat, though. But, I love chorizo. Oh, I love pepperoni. Oh, just give me a stick of pepperoni and a knife and a sunny porch, and I'm like good to go. Maybe a big old J. It says here, fermented meat is not the same as decomposed meat. Fermentation is a controlled process. Leaving a slab of steak to rot on the table is not. The high meat also, you should know, can cause explosive incontinence. That's what it says in this article. If you're going to eat the raw, rotten meat, it could cause explosive incontinence, which I believe to mean explosive diarrhea. They're just trying to make it sound scientific. Many side effects of eating rotten beef. And a lot of it is red meat that they're eating, these high people. It's red meat. Food-borne bacteria, you should know, such as Salmonella and Staphylococcus aureus. I don't think I said that correctly. Staphylococcus aureus can cause food poisoning so acute it can lead to some hospitalization situations. If you're lucky, you'll experience several days' worth of severe pain only. Maybe a little fever, maybe some nausea and vomiting. In extreme cases, you will die. So please don't be eating the decomposing flesh that's sitting around on your counter for a year. There are many other better ways to get high. Just Google it. How do I get high without having explosive incontinence? The police are asking students to please stop playing nude Nerf Wars. Yeah, Nerf Wars in the nude. This is in the village of Heartland, Wisconsin. That sounds like a lovely place to raise a family. Keep your clothes on your kids, though. Can't be running around nude playing Nerf Wars. The village of Heartland Police Department say they've recently had some calls for local students playing Nerf Wars while nude. It's becoming a problem. They had to post on their Facebook page. You know, if the police are posting it on their Facebook page, it's really becoming an epidemic, guys. When you get a police officer to sit down and log on to Facebook and write something, that means it's a serious emergency. Here's their post on Facebook. It says, authorities say a student who participates in nude Nerf Wars will be arrested and issued citations. We're asking parents to tell their children to stop letting them play nude Nerf Wars in the community. Wow, there's some bored mofos in Heartland, Wisconsin. Nude Nerf Wars sounds like a good time, though, but maybe something that should be relegated to maybe, I don't know, one of those nudist communities, the nude colonies. They're always looking for activities in the nudist camps, I'd imagine. Well, did you ever think of Nerf Wars, guys? You know, you're probably just playing tennis or something, or shuffleboard in the nude, letting it all dangle out. Well, try Nerf Wars, all right? Run around a little bit. Maybe some ultimate frisbee while you're nude. What are some good sports to play nude? I'd imagine kickball. That'd be good to play nude. Although you might get kicked in the junk. The ball might hit you in a place that might hurt. Definitely not playing dodgeball in the nude. That could be devastating. Devastating. How many other rants can I go on about playing nude sports? Do you guys know what Nerf Wars is? I probably up top should have defined the phrase Nerf Wars. Nerf is a United States company that creates very soft sporting goods so that they don't hurt. So that you don't hurt yourself. You want to play football, but you don't want to use a real hard ball because leather will hurt your little hands. You use the Nerf football. Nerf makes all kinds of soft sporting goods. Well, Nerf Wars are like it's like a gun that you shoot these Nerf soft things that hit you. I'm surprised they're not banned, the Nerf Wars, myself, because it's involving a gun and shooting at another individual. But yeah, apparently just shooting each other isn't enough. The kids want to take off all their clothes and run around and shoot themselves in Wisconsin. Somebody's been eating too much rotten meat in Wisconsin. I did a Google because the article doesn't really say much. It just says that the police are telling the kids to stop running around naked playing Nerf Wars. So then I just Googled nude sports. A lot of pornographic websites came up, and that kept me distracted. So I had to just kind of pivot my search. I came up with some nude recreation on Wikipedia. This tells us it's kind of a history of activities that people engage in while nude. Did you know that historically the ancient Olympics were actually nude events? That's just unbelievable. And there remain some cultures in Africa, Oceania, and South America that continue to engage in everyday public activities, including sports, while in the nude. This is kind of fascinating. Did you know that there's also a World Naked Gardening Day? Yeah, people across the world are encouraged on World Naked Gardening Day to tend to their gardens while not wearing clothes. And by the way, World Naked Gardening Day is held in May each year. They have a website. Oh, boy. So you guys I don't know what the day is, but you can Google it and find out what day you should take off all your clothes and then go work in your fields. Also, there is nude bungee jumping. Naked bungee jump at Wild Play Park in Vancouver Island. Every year they draw about 100 participants who want a naked bungee jump to raise some money. It's a good cause. So if you're that seems a little crazy to bungee jump naked. That's just, I'd never bungee jumped before, but I would, it just looks like all those straps would just really strangle your nether regions a little too much there. But I'm open to it. I'm open to it. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A literal shit show took place at Kid Rock's bar thanks to a man wielding a colostomy bag. That is one of the most bizarre titles of a weird story I've ever come across. A man was arrested for apparently wielding his colostomy bag at Kid Rock's Nashville bar over the weekend, and the details are quite messy. The police were called to Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Steakhouse. There's nothing good happening at Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Steakhouse, I'll tell you right now. Someone wielding a colostomy bag, I'm not surprised. It's at a Kid Rock establishment. This happened over the weekend. The police were called following reports of an unruly man. I imagine how funny it would be if you called 911 from Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Bar and actually reported, quote, "There's an unruly man inside this honky-tonk." I just want to know if that's what really happened. "There's an unruly man slinging a shit bag at this honky-tonk. I just can't believe it. I came to a honky-tonk to have a splendid, brilliant evening, and here I am having my evening ruined by this colostomy bag and there's crap all over the place. If you could get down here." It's just awful, unacceptable behavior from this unruly man with his colostomy bag. What does he think this is? I think he's a bit inebriated. He's been at the honky-tonk far too long. Perhaps it might even be Kid Rock. I'm not sure. All these people look the same with their mullets. I don't know what character I was doing there. The report is this. Somebody named Nick. Yeah, Nick. If your name is Nick, you're just like... you're going to get arrested at least 6 times in your life. Nick, what are you up to, Nick? Nick was inebriated and blocking the tavern's outside emergency exit while refusing security's demands to leave. Yeah, but what about the shit bag? When the cops showed up, he apparently proceeded to take out his colostomy bag from his pants and began swinging it around disgustedly. 2 officers were hit with feces. Oh my goodness, this guy Nick went out with a bang. Unbelievable. Hey, Nick, remember that time you threw feces at police officers? This is just ridiculous. I mean, I feel bad for Nick. He's got a colostomy bag. Life is not good for Nick. You know, you find yourself in a honky-tonk with a colostomy bag. I mean, how did he end up there? You know, life took a turn, man. That's how that happened. And now he's drunk. He's just not pleased. He probably doesn't want to listen to Kid Rock music, which I assume is played on a loop there, which that in itself is torture. If I'm at Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Steakhouse and they're playing his music on a loop, I'm going to immediately order the rotten steak that's been sitting there for 2 years. That way I can get super high and delusional, and I forget that Kid Rock's music is being played on a loop, and I forget that I'm at a Kid Rock establishment overall, because I don't want to be at a Kid Rock establishment. I don't want to give that doofus my money. Why are people giving Kid Rock their money still in 2021? I'm confused about this. Jonesy rants against Kid Rock. Headline news. Oh, I'm going to get canceled because I made fun of an idiot with a mullet that makes terrible music. No, I'm good. I'm actually good because Kid Rock is white and I am also white, so I can say whatever I want about white people. I just can't. If I say something about somebody who isn't white, whether it's true or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to be kicked out of my closet and I won't have a podcast anymore. So I think that's how it works, right? That's how the rules are, apparently. Okay, so more information about colostomy bag slinging mofos at Kid Rock bars. When the police officers arrived at the location to assist the security, okay, the defendant took out his colostomy bag from the inside of the front pocket or pants area. Oh, I already said that part. Sorry. Now, they charged this guy, Nick, with assault on 2 police officers, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication. I mean, you're at a Kid Rock bar. I mean, this is like, the whole bar is disorderly conduct and public intoxication. Hello? Now, according to the media, this is an unfortunate collateral damage situation. Other patrons were also hit with feces, it says. That's just what's going to happen when you throw around your colostomy bag. There's going to be... People are going to be hit with crap shrapnel, if I may be poetic. Crap shrapnel. That sounds like a name of a shitty band. Hey, the jokes are flying today because I'm so caffeinated. Thanks for everyone who bought me coffees off weirdafnews.com. Just keeping the fun moving here on Weird AF News that we record in a closet. Okay, it also says here, at least one officer has left work to change clothes. He had so much shit on his shirt, he had to change clothes. Oh, man. You never expect that to happen when you report to duty. Yeah. To be hit with duty. You've been listening to Weird FFAF News. This is your host, Jonesy, and I did all that with my mouth. Impressed? Are you impressed? You should be. Highly caffeinated with some skills. I got some really... lovely reviews on Amazon. I want to thank y'all for leaving me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my core for leaving me reviews on Amazon. The first one is from someone with a sign on TXVTX. And I got 5 stars from this guy with the title, Dude, Live Long and Prosper, Jonesy. 5 stars. Or as we say in Boston, 5 stars. A dude gave me friggin' 5 stars. This is a wicked awesome review. Here is the review. Jonesy seems to be a good human. Oh, thanks. The dude is entertaining and a light in the darkness. He can ease your loneliness via your Alexa daily briefing. I like him and look forward to hearing him daily like a friend. Thanks, Jonesy. Thank you, TXVTX. I feel like you're my friend as well. When you leave a nice review like this, buddy, we're friends for life. That's what I'm saying. You live long and prosper, bro. TXVTX. I'm guessing you're from Texas. I don't know. I don't know your name or where you're from, but I want to thank you for leaving me a 5-star review and saying all these lovely things. It made me happy today. It really made me happy. Thank you. Also, someone named Deborah Boisvert. Deborah Boisvert. Debbie. I don't know what you want to be called, but you gave me 5 stars. All I want to do is to thank you because you gave me 5 whole stars. You left a nice review on this Amazon account. She wrote, love the podcast, 5 stars. And then she wrote something very, very lovely. Deborah wrote, highly recommend this product. Funny guy. Found him through my Alexa app. Thumbs up. Hey, it was short and sweet. Big love. Shout out to Deborah. I'm glad you found me on your Alexa app. And thanks for calling me a funny guy, because sometimes I don't feel very funny, I have to admit. Sometimes I get angry on the podcast. Things make me angry. Apparently, weird news isn't always funny. Sometimes it just makes you mad at the stupidity that we are embedded in. We're embedded in the utmost stupidity. And, most of the time I try and make light of it and make it funny. But then sometimes it just gets my goat, guys. It gets my goat. Is that what they say? It gets my goat? It gets my guff? It pisses me off. That's what we say in Boston. Friggin' pisses me off. Wicked pisser. Thanks for leaving reviews, guys. I just want to let you know it really made my day. When I get reviews, it really makes me happy. So you can do so by going to Amazon and leaving a review, or Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes. I think it's still called iTunes as well. You can leave reviews there if you like the podcast, or if you don't like the podcast, you can also leave reviews. I don't know why you would do that, but some people feel like it's a very productive way to spend their time. Some podcast that's free that no one ever forced them to listen to. They feel like it's important to go and leave 1 star and tell the world, don't waste your time. Gotcha, guys. You're just making the world go around, guys. That's what you're doing. Good job by you. What else? Oh, check me out on the Patreon, because that's a way to support this podcast. If you feel like, I'm bringing something that's of value to your life 5 days a week, then maybe go to the Patreon and support It doesn't cost very much. It's like buying me a cup of coffee. Wouldn't you want to caffeinate me like one day a month? Yeah, you would. Patreon.com/weirdafnews. And you can join there. It's not just the good feeling of supporting a 5-day-a-week weird podcast that no one else is doing. It's also, you get to get all this extra weird AF content that's in there and join discussions with other big time fans of the show who are also superstars. So patreon.com/weirdafnews. If you want to reach out, send me an article. That's cool. funnyjones@gmail.com. My inbox is always open and available to you. And what else? If you'd like to call the show, 646-450-2012. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, Jonesy, it's Michael from Iowa City, and you told us to call you and tell you to calm down over Catherine, the TikToker. Generally, I am on the same page with you as far as your opinions, but I love and support you in the show and everything you do with that, but I have to disagree with you about Catherine. The reason is that you just felt she was completely shameless and sharing too much of her life, and I do agree she's probably on there for hours and hours and hours a day sharing too many details of her life, but what she does isn't too far off from what you do. Now, you give us a solid 15 or 20 minutes every day, and you do share a lot about yourself, and that's one of the reasons we've come to care and love you so much and are so dedicated to you. But you do, of course, rein it in. But if something were to happen to you, you have rabid fans that care about you, and we would worry about you and your personal outcome and what happens to you. So what happened with her is a horrible thing, and it was a rotten person who ghosted her. So, as far as guy code, a lot of guys might not like me saying this, but, ghosting her is a terrible thing to do, and guys like that give men a bad reputation. So, people who do terrible things like that need to be held accountable. And you said something similar to that the other day when you said the person that stole the $660,000 in stimulus money needs to be held accountable. Now that's, criminal activity, legally criminal, but people who treat people the way this woman was treated, that's just criminal as well, but on a, personal level of criminal activity. And they need to be held accountable. So she should post pictures of him on her website, and then that should go viral amongst her TikTok friends, and they should try to track this guy down and figure out who he is so that he can be exposed. If the situation is that he has another girlfriend or a wife, then she needs to know about it and find out that he's fooling around with someone else. And I wish there was a more gentle way of exposing him to that other woman, but unfortunately that would be harsh for her to find out that her man is cheating. But he needs to be held accountable for his atrocious behavior and the way he ghosted her. So, this is what happens when people act terribly, and he needs to be held to account for it. So, I disagree with how you feel about her being shameless.